Wow, hi, what's up? Hold on. These guys are so sneaky. People keep sending me stuff. I need to listen to this real quick before I post this. Why do you think UNH went up since you bought? Because I'm just a god stock caller. I'm just the best. I just know everything about the markets.
ABC, always be clipping. There's a clipping guide on the subreddit, the ABC's guide. Very important stuff. And post like hell. Have a Twitter account. Be on Twitter. Be editorializing. Be talking. I'm seeing lots of that from people such as Shamu and...
Sorry, hold on. Bump, 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 boom. Wait, yep. Yep. And boom. Okay. Sorry, hold on. Almost done. We need a daily movie take. Thoughts on Sicario? I'm going to be honest. I haven't watched it, but it looks cool. I have a, hold on. Just want to make sure I'm not going to say something stupid. Fuck. Okay, wait. I've only seen clips of this movie. I don't know how much of it is in Spanish versus English. I have a big respect for movies that sub and don't do, like depending on the setting of the movie, that they speak the language of the movie. Not that it matters that much, but I like that, like Pan's Labyrinth, I think was a US released movie, but the whole movie's in Spanish, so you have to watch the, I don't know, I respect it. You know you're going to take a hit on audience size for it and everything, and sales, so when people do it, I respect it. Is there any chance of you watching that Ryan Beard video and defending yourself? I need the manifesto days to come back just this once. The problem is it's just like a recounting of every single thing relating to me sexually over the past like 15 years. Like it's weird to have to like drudge all of it up every time. And like there are things that I've done that are legitimately like not good. But I mean, like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to say or do about them, right? Like the blue tea stuff or like the Mia Rosa, I was like, it's not good. I apologize to people. Like, we're fine now. But like, is it every year when somebody else makes a video about this, I have to like talk about it again? I don't know, it's kind of cringe. I will say though, because I did listen to that Ryan Beard video off stream. I got a lot of respect for him. He mind read the fuck out of me for the beginning of that video. He's like, Destiny's gonna say when he watches this video, Destiny's gonna say that I'm only putting this video together because he insulted me and called me fat and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? That is a big reason why I'm putting this together. Fuck him. And you know what? Fair. And I'm like, he's just like, this little bandwagon fuck. And then he's like, you know what? He's also gonna accuse me of just bandwagoning on all the recent hate. And I am doing that too. I am bandwagoning on, because I think it's the best time for my video to get views. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You know what? So I give him props for that, okay? He gets props. He gives props for honesty on that. Can you explain to a non-American who missed some streams, how is Trump taking over DC and why are Democrats being arrested in Texas? What is going on? I'm lost. I feel like there's a lot of things. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Ryan Beard. Yeah, it's in the news. We'll get to it. Destiny, what is the difference between what Cenk is doing, talking to the Republicans like Kirk and trying to work with them, and Pisco talking with commies, trying to work with them? Maybe I missed it. Well, Cenk is like legitimately out to sea. I don't think Cenk supports the Dems at all. I think he would see that party destroyed and rebuilt as a socialist party. I think that I think Pisco legitimately believes in the Democratic Party and wants them to do better. I don't think Cenk does. Cenk wants the Democratic Party destroyed. Also, I think that I'm not trying to be condescending at all here. I know it might sound that way, but like I think Pisco doesn't have as much experience in like the political world. I think he's way more like legal / kind of policy minded. So Cenk doesn't have an excuse to be as naive as he is when talking to these people. Pisco, I think, has like a learning curve where it's like maybe he's not as aware of how insidious a lot of these online communities could be. So like I would give a lot more slack to Pisco there than Cenk. Talking to Brad now or later. Okay, help me. Tell me what I can do to communicate scheduled things, okay? This is why I always give up, because nobody seems, it doesn't matter. Okay. Live at 2, chatting with Brad at 4. YouTube.com/Destiny. Chatting with Brad takes at 1600 EST. Where else do I need? Unironically, what's a better way to clear your name than reacting to the biggest bundle of accusations ever made? You just live the best way to clear your name, and it's so out of context, it would boost your career. It's lazy on your part to not reply. It's almost Hassan levels of laziness to clear your name. Well, the problem is, one, is it's not always clear your name. So, like, for instance, for the blue tea stuff and for the Mia Rose stuff, right? This is legitimately, like, shitty behavior on my part. So it's not clear my name. So the question is, like, is every single time somebody makes a new video that I have to drudge up, like, every mistake I've ever made in my life? And, like, this is fucking retarded. Why would I do that? Why would I let somebody drama like that? No, okay, so 1 and 2. And then 3, for other stories, like, to explain, like, the Au revoir thing is, like, we're about to spend 35 minutes diving into the history of this whole fucking ordeal. It just feels like, why? Like, well, so here's this girl that I met, and then we had this online thing, and then it's, I don't know. You were confusing the guy a lot. Wait, confusing what guy a lot? We need a Chiron scrolling across the top of the screen. Have Grok summarize it. Bro, unironically, somebody said something a long time ago that, like, every time a new form of media comes out, I don't know if this was a YouTube post or a subreddit post, that every time, like, a new form of media comes out, like, there's always this deluge of trash. But then after a while, like, society adapts and we move on to the next thing. Somebody said that the AI stuff might seem bad right now, but maybe AI will also kind of be our savior in some ways. I kind of feel like maybe, like, watching Grok, having people like ChatGPT stuff in real time and having them get debunked is kind of funny. It's kind of crazy seeing that happen, you know? Ryan also hardcore just sided with the women in your stories. For example, he never mentioned the bad shit that Blav or Mel did. So Blav is just unhinged and crazy. Mel, I don't like to, like, relationships are complicated and messy. Like, I'm not gonna shit on any of my ex-partners. I feel like that's weird. Like, I would say that Melina engaged in some bad behavior at the end of a relationship, but I mean, she would also say I engaged in some bad behavior too. But, like, it's like a relationship. I mean, like, we were together for 5 years. Obviously, there were complaints on both sides. We broke up. But I'm not gonna sit here and trash her for it. Also, keep in mind too, I remember this is the biggest detriment to our relationships. I came in there as a 30-year-old and she was 20, right? So there's a huge age gap and everything too. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm not gonna relitigate past drama, especially relationship stuff with partners, and then shit on them because, yeah, I don't know. Destiny, she did to you though. Yeah, but I mean, like, generally, if Melina ever said bad stuff about me, usually it was privately, more often than not, which I had a huge issue with. But, like, she generally wasn't, like, digging stuff up publicly and everything on stream, which I think is really cringe. And for some reason people do other shit. Yeah. Can you please do something to change the outro for anything else pods on YouTube? I hate seeing Dan's creepy face and voice pop up at the end. Okay. But efforts are already being made to control the AIs. For example, Elon Musk. People refer to AI to rule everything in life, like it's some grand authority about combos. I mean, Elon keeps saying that he's going to change it and everything, but I don't know if Elon is, like, too retarded to actually have any influence there. Or if he doesn't, like, he just says it, but, like, the workers just kind of, like, laugh at him and ignore him. Because it seems like for all of his complaints about how it's too woke and it's following the mainstream media, like, it seems like it still does a decent job, no? I know you said caffeine doesn't affect you, but with all the Red Bulls you drink, do you get caffeine withdrawals if you don't drink Red Bulls one day? No. First of all, I've never had caffeine withdrawal in my life, okay? Even when I drank a ton of Pepsi growing up, I didn't. But number 2, I don't drink a ton of Red Bulls. I have 1 Red Bull per day, which I feel like is probably less caffeine than most, at least, coffee drinkers drink per day. How much does this have in it? Hold on. I was about to Google it, but I have the can in front of me. 38 grams of sugar. Whew. God, I love my fucking liver and my pancreas. Caffeine content is 114 milligrams. Caffeine or nutrition content, 1 venti cappuccino. I don't know, what do people drink from fucking Starbucks? Jesus, 225. I'm saying Jesus. I don't even know if this is a lot or not, but this is 225. So it's less than a. What about for like a grande? Okay. What about for a tall? Okay. So it's like between a tall. It's less than a grande's worth of caffeine per day. I had to stop with Red Bulls. Just had my gallbladder removed. Damn, what'd you do to your gallbladder, bro? What the fuck is this? I'm just appalled and disgusted. Did I misspell appalled? Hold on. Appalled. Is it really appalled? That's appalled?
Appalled.
Oh my God. And I said lifetime. I should have said lifelong. Crack pipe. Men destined to define eras and change history who will be remembered for millennia to come. Red Bull. Philosophers, kings, explorers, and inventors. G Fuel. Influencers, artists, writers, and generals. And then coffee. Officers, officials, diplomats. Oh, there's more. Bang. Untouchable. Sanitation workers, street sweepers. Wait, why is this so true down here? Oh, no. Since I'm 40, probably due to age, and I had bad acid reflux, so it's probably a few different issues. I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what the fuck the gallbladder does. Do you get acid reflux from it? No. I feel like I had a small period of my life, like a couple years ago, where I had weird acid reflux every now and then, but... Do not retire. The left needs you. Thanks, precedented times. For the tier 5 subber. Buddy? Produces bile, which helps break down fats. Does the liver not make any bile? Is it really all in the gallbladder? Gallbladder. What does gallbladder do? 1 minute and 40 seconds. Damn. What a simple organ.
Welcome to Moo Moo Math and Science.
Hey,
in this video,
Moo-Moo.
I'd like to talk about the function of the gallbladder.
Okay.
And can you live without your gallbladder?
Okay.
The gallbladder is a small organ where bile is stored and concentrated before it is released in the small intestine.
Okay.
The gallbladder in humans is pear-shaped and is found beneath the liver. The gallbladder stores bile, which is created in the liver. Bile is important for the digestion of food. Fats in your small intestine like to stick together.
Ooh, why would you post that? You're like, I don't fucking ban you. Wait, am I crazy or do I remember Blur? Are you a super cheesy fucking Terran? I feel like every time I saw this name, I was about to play the most cancerous fucking game of my life. Were you like a 2-Raxer or something? Am I making this up?
And form clumps of fat. The bile breaks these clumps apart, which helps the job of the enzymes in the small intestines easier.
Wow.
Think of bile as the
what?
job of the enzymes. The bile breaks these clumps apart, which helps the job of the enzymes in the small intestines easier.
I don't think that was a real sentence, but okay.
Think of bile as the detergent you use when washing dishes after a really fatty meal. After the liver produces bile, it travels down the common hepatic duct and into the gallbladder. And
what is this? Hepatic? Is that how you say hepatic?
down the common hepatic duct and into the gallbladder. And the gallbladder secretes bile into the upper part of the small intestines using the common bile duct. Can you live without a gallbladder? Yes. A gallbladder may be removed for
Gallbladder. What am I watching? Wait, what is
many
this?
reasons, such as excessive. A gallbladder may be removed for many reasons, such as excessive gallstones or cancer. The bile is rerouted from the liver into the small intestines. The most common side effect from the removal of the gallbladder is indigestion. So there we go, the gallbladder, a storage area of bile.
I think you said if Combat X and Pigleg had a retarded baby, it would be me. Oh. Well, I hope you're doing okay, buddy.
Thanks for watching, and Moo Moo Math uploads a new math and science video every day. Please subscribe and share.
Where are my Rurouni Kenshin guys at? No, not Shishio. Who's the other guy? Oh, Sojiro. Every time I see a guy that used to play StarCraft, it's like, oh, this is a warrior from the old age. Meijing period? What was it? What's it called in all the animes when they all had swords? There was like, it was the whatever period. I don't fucking know. I don't remember. Rurouni Kenshin author got jailed for tons of kiddie porn. Hey, eat fresh, baby, okay? That was a Subway reference, not like a eat fresh children, not like a pedophile reference. Well, it was like a subtle pedophile reference because Jared was a pedophile, but I didn't mean eat fresh in that way, okay? Sorry. Never mind. I don't think that I was making an edgy joke, but that wasn't supposed to be as edgy as that sounded, okay? Jesus Christ. It wasn't as edgy as that sounded, okay? Fuck. What is this? Why was I link this? Okay, don't care. Large wave wipes out seal. Wait, what's the difference between a seal and a sea lion? Mains? When you I used to, I don't know what I'm saying. I used to go jet skiing sometimes when I was in California. And when you're out in the, not like super far out, but there's like these, do you call them buoys? The things that float in the water. Whenever you're out there would be like 10 sea lions that would just like lay, I don't know why. They were like sunbathing or whatever. They would just all like fucking they would just like lay out and crowd around these things. And I always wanted to like reach out and pet one, but I heard that they're super mean, that they'll like fuck you up if you try to touch one. Destiny LOL. 7 matchup. Oh, it's Blur.
I fucking hate this faggot.
Oh! We said that word back then. It's different. And I buy now, so retroactively I'm allowed to say it. Jesus Christ. Chill. It was a different time. It was a different time back then. Don't cancel me. How has nobody mined my past videos? I feel like you could put together like a huge like faggot compilation and cancel the fuck out of me. I would be destroyed. It'd be the end of my career. Yeah. I kind of fucked my routers up. Oof. No scouting, no idea what's going on in his base. What are we doing here? 1-1 Lings, upgraded Lings into Muta. I'm about to get killed by some MMM push. I can feel it.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. Blue Flame Helling, even more obnoxious.
Right now, at least.
Oh, it's Kyle! I can hear him, Kyle! Oh, yeah, let him kill the spine crawlers before you go out and do anything. Nice. Good strategy. Okay. Oh, this is the infester.
No!
Shut up. I mean, if you lose the expo, even if you kill the attack, I don't think you win the game from this point. I bet it dies and I rage out. That's my guess. Oh, okay, never mind. trying to right click my link, sorry.
Your overlord's out of you.
Fuck, oh my god. I hate, like, I feel because I'm getting all these upgrades. Oh, were there like 10-minute time limit uploads for YouTube back then? Is that why this is the one game you win? Only one? I had a winning record versus you, kid. I beat you 10 out of 10 times. No, I'm just kidding. I win that 10 out of 10 times, acne. Oh, shit. Wait.
Go, my friends.
Come on, acne. I'll win that fight 10 out of 10 times. Oh my fuck my life.
Not the 360! What did the Allah Akbar CSGO clip go from your channel? I think when I started fighting with Muslims, I don't even remember what it was over. Was it the Palestine stuff? It might have been before the Israel-Gaza war stuff, I think. I don't remember, but they all started spam reporting that clip for some reason, so we took it down just in case. Oh, it was the Minecraft cube thing, maybe. I think there was a point where you were meme trolling Muslims just because they were always super violent online. Yeah, because people would say things like, well, I guess now I get it from the other end. People would be like, oh, you don't troll everybody. You only troll the safe side or whatever. And it's like, I mean, I don't troll. I don't give a fuck. Now people say I just troll Muslims though, and not, Israelis or whatever. Okay, I want to say I'm sorry. I'm getting a bit too spicy and disrespectful with some of my tweets lately. There's no reason to attack an entire religion. Gonna chill on the religious commentary and just stream some Minecraft later or something. And then I had the cube guy. They didn't like this one. What are you gonna do, man? Oh yeah, this was before October 7th. That was 2023, right? Hank Green made a 13-minute video about a think you talked about. You mean a thing, dipshit? I love you, Blair. Be careful, buddy.
So this is going to start out kind of philosophical with the fact that words have meanings, all of them, and those meanings...
Words have meanings? Dude, I love that take. Wait, what is this? Will Brad just move to Israel? He has family in Israel. His family in general seems to have his back. A daddy will work your job in the States. He previously expressed that he enjoyed being in Egypt. Jesus. Okay. Trolls. What is this? Wait, last thing, and then we'll watch this video. When I'm genuinely on my way to McDonald's, but I forgot my Instagram location is on for the obs. Oh, wait, I feel like I saw something on Reddit like a week ago or something where, or some news story where Instagram just started like sharing your location by default without telling you. Did anybody see that? Was that a thing? Or did some girl just mess her shit up? As an ex-COD Warzone gamer, your opinion's the only one I trust. Is she cheating? It's so insane how all of you Westerners are not allowed to personify Muhammad in any way, shape, or form because Muslims are unironically unhinged lunatics online. It's like the discordistical community of Abrahamic religions. I mean, I feel like the Muslims over in the US are kind of chill. They don't really give a fuck as much. I feel like it's mainly the ones that... I can't tell if my mind might have been rotted by neo-Nazis. It feels like all the ones in like Paris and London are the most unhinged ones. Like, I don't even know if the ones in Middle Eastern countries give a fuck as much, but I don't know how much time they spend like on like the American internet. Like, I feel like there are different worlds on the internet that don't merge all the time because we just don't share the same websites and people aren't aware of it sometimes. Like, I remember for Korea, I can't remember the names, but there are like social media websites that are like really popular sometimes for other countries. And if you don't speak the language, like you'll just never go there. So they have kind of like a different internet culture and a different place where a lot of them hang out. I don't know if like Middle Eastern people are on a lot of like the English speaking part of the internet, or if they also have like their own sites or social media sites and everything. I'm not sure. Okay.
Kyle, what the fuck?
That was so long ago.
Not funny. Okay. Is this person cheating? The most locked-in cat girl you'll ever see in Battlefield 6.
Oh my god, you did follow me in Delta Force era.
Bro, who cheats in like COD or Battlefield? Really? I don't think I've never even played this game. How would I even be able to tell?
In Delta Force era. That was so long ago. Oh my god, what the fuck? That was nuts!
This person's playing keyboard and mouse, right?
Wow, I flicked straight at that guy through the wall. Oopsie. Targeting 240 FPS? Good computer.
This is why do we think this person's cheating?
Oh. Wow, I flicked straight at that guy through the wall. Oopsie. Targeting 240 FPS? Good computer.
Aim lock? Like, that wasn't an aim lock. Like, look at that flick. Like, they're even off a little bit to the right, right? Like, that's not an aim lock, is it? It seems like they're decently good. Like, that's not an aim lock, right?
How much of this game have you played, though?
I don't think that. No. Wait. I don't know why.
Whoa! Hey, teammate. Whoa!
Like, that's not an aim lock? No? Sometimes people will toggle their cheats. Okay. I mean, I feel like I haven't seen anything where it's like, oh, it's like crazy. I mean, I'm guessing they're like decently good at the game, right? There's not like a ladder or whatever. Or there's not like.
The Abyssal Dagger.
That's so insane.
That's obviously not aim locking, right? The tracking was a bit sus in the vehicle. Was it though?
Oh my.
As good as gas.
Some aim locks will be off on purpose. This is because they're trans? How do you know? It's a fucking cat person thing. What does that mean? They're trans cat? Your video just got DRM taken down by Slop News Network while I was watching it. The pirate server doesn't know how to code one. Wait, like a video or like a stream? His shit locks through walls? Is it him or her? Or who is it? She is a trans woman.
Oh my god, I'm crying. What the fuck?
If you don't do the dishes, you don't have anything to eat off of.
Like, this is clearly not aim lock. That wasn't aim lock. What? This person responded by posting AA autocam. Why would they? I don't know why they would post anything. Why? Why do we? What is the aim lock part? Or what are we thinking? Like, what are we talking about? That's clear. That was an aim lock. It's toggled?
Okay, so you had 2,000 viewers and you're calling me famous.
Like, that clearly wasn't aim lock.
No way.
It's very clearly toggling. They're doing 100% straight flicks with no deviation. Wait, I can't tell if Radiant is trolling me or not. The retard, the aim lock can swing in the general direction?
I just lost a nutty clip to Bloom.
I feel like you'd have to learn aim lock as like a whole separate skill at that point. I mean, if you're that dedicated, then... I mean, I guess it's not impossible, I say that, but like... Cheats in 2025 are fucking insane. I don't know about this. I mean, at this point, how could you know if somebody is aimbotting versus they're just like good at flicking?
3 TS, what the fish?
Timestamped with something similar.
Really see it, but now.
And just in case you're curious how this blew up. Whoa! Oh fuck, I'm supposed to talk to somebody for fundraising for this shit in 5 minutes. Sorry. Okay, that's okay. I'm here.
Now we will go over the second kill. So overflicks twice. There. There. Now you will see his aim lock on to the belt line of this player with a micro track. Boom, right there. And he tracks him.
Okay, that did look weird. But
Player with a micro track.
I didn't see that in the last one.
Boom, right there.
Like those kinds of adjustments I think are hyper sus. Like if you're doing is this the same person? Oh, maybe. Like if you do like, so if I was like doing mouse movements, okay, so let's say that okay, hold on, let's say that somebody is like standing here, okay, this is a person right here. So let's say that I'm like completely 180 flicking or whatever, right? Let's say that I flick and I'm like woo, and I miss and I stop here. Then let's say that I bring my mouse back here and I overcorrect. Then let's say that I bring it back here and shoot. Then we're good. But if it's like from here and then like some weird shit happens like here, I feel like that gets like really sus. Like this like very small, like this kind of thing, I feel like can be really weird.
On to the belt line of this player with
which is what he's pointing out. That's a different person in the clip now this time. Oh,
boom,
okay.
right there. And he tracks him.
Does this person do this a lot, or?
At this point, there was no real concrete evidence that Shimmy cheated.
Ooh, like that looks like a lock-in, and they track perfectly afterwards, assuming this isn't like a controller too, right?
Other than the fact that his aim looked impossible to legitimate players. But their assessment turned out to be correct.
The dude in the video, Enders, also reviewed the cat in his latest upload. Reasonable analysis, in my opinion. Enders? Why am I looking at Carl Jobst if that's Enders? Which one is Carl?
I score.
Is Carl the one talking? My opinion, cheating or legit?
Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to be going over these
Okay. Just give me the, what do they think? What's the verdict?
Twitch channel that they stream on, obviously because got the Twitch channel that they stream on mass reported and falsely banned, when I emphasize falsely banned, because of this clip, right? And here's the appeal, here's the initial ban that Riley sent me. The appeal was denied, right? And Riley's Twitch account was, I think, suspended for 24 hours. As recorded.
Holy fuck, stop skipping, you ADHD retard. I don't want to watch a 26-minute video on you guys cheating on shitty FPSs. It's not even a real game, it's Battlefield. So no, I'm not gonna sit here and watch a 30-minute fucking thing on cheating on a game that's not even fucking fun to play in the first place, okay? Suck my fucking cock. Fuck you.
In this video, Riley's unbanned, so they will be back to streaming. Just want to make this very clear. Twitch did not ban Riley because Riley was, quote-unquote, proven to cheat. That is not what happened. Twitch suspended Riley's account due to mass reports from Reddit and likely Twitter as well. And this happened again to Riley in Delta Force, which of course Riley made a video for, similar to the one that they made in Battlefield 6. So in my opinion, watching not only the clips I went over in this video, but every...
Even with a controller, the precision would be ass, I think, unless you have crazy centric controller. Well, for if you're playing on a controller, I don't know how it works on modern games, but on the older ones, it used to be that controllers have a level of auto aim that's built in to help like console players. So like it'll track perfectly as long as the aim is close enough.
Every single clip in this video, Riley is not cheating. They have demonstrated the same aim talent in every single game they have played. And I personally think the hatred and vitriol that has been spawned due to these clips is fucking disgusting and disgraceful. I really do.
Whoa.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I'm talking about like 50 million views, 100 million views on some of the quote tweets. Obviously, because of the way Riley streams with the cat VTuber and the way Riley talks and everything, they're naturally susceptible to online, hatred and bullying, whatever you want to say. But the fact of the matter is, in my opinion, the clips aren't fucking cheated. The clips are not fucking cheated. They're not. It's just a weird ass play style.
Wait, who does he sound like when his voice is doing this? Wait.
That people are not fucking cheated. They're not. It's just a weird ass. The clips are not fucking cheated. They're not.
Fuck. What am I thinking of? Oh, Vegan Gains. Yes. True.
The clips aren't fucking cheated. The clips are not fucking cheated. They're
a little
not.
bit. Yeah.
It's just a weird ass play style that people aren't used to seeing in a game that has beanie gunplay and snappy fucking mechanics, whatever you want to say. It looks crazy when someone with good aim is playing it. And I suppose you could say Riley made a video that baited people into thinking a certain thing because, of course, there are aimers, right? There are people that post these aim montages that specifically post them to bait cheat accusations. I don't think that's what Riley was doing here. The caption for the tweet was something like the most locked-in cat girl you'll ever see in Battlefield 6. It wasn't something like inflammatory, like, oh my god, like, my aim is the best ever, or something like that. So, again, these clips aren't cheated in my opinion. If I thought they were cheated, I would have called it out myself. I would have probably also made a video, the exact opposite style they're making right now, covering
That was so perfect. I thought it was Vegan Gains when I looked away.
this.
Ask me, we'll cover this. Where did the hatred come from? I don't fucking know. Tectone? Grown man pretending to be a little girl, cheating in an open beta while denying it in every post. So fucking gay, brother. Get a grip. Well, I do understand. I guess. Oh, I guess now, because I get it. My gay brothers, I am beside you. Let us fight the homophobia together. What? Like, let's say that they are cheating. If they are cheating, like, bringing up this extra shit just completely fucking undermines any possible point you could ever make, Like, why? Like, when you throw this other shit in here, it just kind of seems like you're shitting on them because they're trans or whatever, Or cat trans. I don't know what Asmongold 2? Oh, all the usual suspects. The only reason this person is receiving any support is because they were trans. Lawless identity politics at work. Has Asmongold ever even played an FPS in his life? Listen, if Flusha beat the cheating challenge, the cheating accusations, this person is not cheating, okay? There are still people to this day that think that Flusha was not hacking. Fuck you guys. The Tectone debate is organized. We're supposed to talk tomorrow. Winner POV. It happens. Where's the legendary me and Mooten? Moot, I'm going in. Cover me, Moot! Moot!
How's it going, my friend?
It's going great. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Did you catch all the Charlie Jesse Waters drama, or were you away?
Not yet. I was out of town over the weekend, so I'm still catching up on stuff. What happened? Wait, with Jesse Waters and who?
So Jesse.
And Charlie?
So I don't know if Charlie started it. I think Jesse started. Yeah, Jesse Waters had our CNN thing on.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically was like, I don't know if you want to play it, but he basically was like, they're trying to find the next trans Charlie Kirk, so I guess they think I'm trans.
You're getting transvestigated. Oh no.
I know. And then Charlie, I mean, you know how the fucking right-wing media works. Like, within like 2 seconds, Charlie had like a long tweet about it. All like a ton of the MAGA pages on Twitter were saying that I'm trans, and that Charlie got really upset about it. I mean, I guess like his tweet was like this long tweet about how he's like a martyr for the cause, and he took 13 years to build this, and he slept on couches and all this shit,
Wow, what an actual champion.
Yeah, a real champion for the people. He didn't talk about the fact that his first donor was Foster Freeze, who was a billionaire, but you know, he skipped that part.
Well, how much more? I don't actually know anything about Charlie's background other than the TPUSA stuff. What was he doing before then?
Nothing. He was like 18 when he started it. Like he was doing some like, I don't know like the full story, but from what I've read online, it sounds like he was doing some like speaking thing at a school, at either his high school or his like community college, because he never actually went to like a real college. And I guess like Foster Freeze like found him and was like, hey, you're great. And then he started Turning Point USA. I guess he got like a 10K check from him to start it, or at least that's what he says. I think it was probably more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, so he never actually had a job. Like he's been doing this since he was a kid.
Okay. Can you give me 1 minute? I want to watch this clip just so my stream and everybody has context, okay?
Yeah, watch it.
I'm curious.
Their new plan?
Okay. I hate this Jesse Waters guy, but I hate everybody on Fox News.
Scratch your leader list. Their new plan? Created transgender Charlie Kirk.
I think that, you know, as much as I disagree with Charlie Kirk, I believe that what he's doing has worked. And that's why I'm here to replicate what he's doing. I'm not here to, you know, disrupt Charlie Kirk's events. I'm here to say that there are alternative ideas and that we need to build the same thing that he has, because he is good at it.
Cohen Sanchez has worked more than a decade on Democratic campaigns.
The DNC, they're already trying to coup trans Charlie.
Is the DNC supporting this?
No, not currently.
Why not?
If Ken Martin's watching this, text me back. But really, I mean, I think it's disappointing that we haven't been able to see the DNC really get off the ground since the election, because I think a lot of things have happened internally that have been distractions to the actual ground game that we need right now.
Democrats' map's only getting smaller.
Aid on Democratic campaigns. Cohen Sanchez.
I didn't know you could have Cohen as a middle name. I thought it was supposed to be a last name.
No, it is the last name. Because I'm married, so I have a hyphenated last name.
Oh my God. I didn't know that. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
I'm too
Wait, okay, I gotta ask, okay? Okay, hold on. I have two questions. I have two very important questions, okay? Okay. Hyphenated last name. How do you decide which one goes first? Do you and your husband have the same, I'm assuming husband, your partner, I'm sorry. Do you and your partner have the same, like, last name? Or like one of you Cohen Sanchez and one of you Sanchez Cohen?
No, he's Sanchez. I'm Cohen. So then when we got married, we just hyphenated. But we just put whatever's first, like, that sounded good. You know, like Sanchez Cohen sounds fucking weird, you know, so we...
Okay. First one. Second question is, what are you going to do if your kid meets somebody with a hyphenated last name? Is it going to be like 4 names? Have you ever thought about this?
No, they're screwed. But also, like, we didn't do middle names because that's like ridiculous. Like, I've got 2 middle names and 2 last names. It's just stupid. So like, no middle names, and no, you're gonna have to drop that because that's like ridiculous.
Do you worry that there might be some huge drama in terms of picking like which name to keep? Or wait, do you have kids? Am I allowed to ask that, or are you public about that?
Yeah. I've got a 1.5-year-old, and then I'm pregnant with one on the way. But which is hilarious because I was like, maybe I'm the first pregnant trans, or maybe trans women can actually get pregnant. They should do that.
Based.
But yeah, no, they're just. I don't know. I feel like they could just pick, right? Like,
you just have you have a strong enough opinion that you have a hyphenated last name, which is exceptional, but you don't care at all what your kids choose for a last name. That's not relevant to you. You don't give a fuck.
Here's the thing, right? Like, if like Cohen, first of all, I don't have any brothers, right? So like, we have to like carry it on somehow. But then also, it would be weird for me as like a white girl to have the last name Sanchez, right? I don't know.
No, you would just be married to a Hispanic person or whatever, I imagine, right? That's not that weird, no?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't like seen that a lot, so I didn't want to be like the.
Okay, that's great. Our anti-misogyny queen, I guess, or whatever, right? No race mixing. Okay. As a person whose mom is very white, whose last name is Gonzalez, okay, my Cuban background, I don't appreciate that racial profiling, but okay, regardless, sorry. Okay, we're here to talk about real stuff. So Jesse Waters did his thing. I saw Charlie Kirk had some huge fucking tweet afterwards. What is the point of this huge fucking... I may disagree with Charlie Kirk, but what he's doing has worked. We need to build the same thing he has. He's good at it. LOL, imitation is the highest form of flattery. What they don't see is the 13 years of grinding. I travel 300 days a year. I give 100 speeches.
Dude, it was like, and then I just like commented under it, and I was like, this is like a really long way for you to say that you won't debate Destiny. Like,
Base and true.
to that. But he's just, I don't know. And then he talked about us on his podcast too. So like, you know, he has his like morning podcast and we were in the opening segment. And he was like, the funny thing was that he did not disagree with anything that we said. Like he was like, yeah, they're actually like, for the first time, the Democrats might actually be onto something. But then like he had to attack us because you know how the right-wing media is. It's like Jesse Waters says I'm trans. So then Charlie's got to say I'm ugly. But at least Charlie was like, I don't think she's trans. Charlie was like, I do think she's a girl. So maybe they like split on that issue, like, you know, but whatever.
Sure, yeah. They'll also like, they try to use, they'll want to use like, they'll give credit to people that they can to stoke division if they can, right? So like if the movement is existing somewhat, then they would use anything that you do to attack the mainstream Democrats. And that would be like the goal as always. That's how he navigates those things, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like they just, I mean, they were all like on point with messaging. But the good thing is like Charlie actually agrees with what we're doing, or at least that's what it sounded like from the podcast clip. Like he was like, they're the first people on the Dem side that I've actually seen that are like kind of on the right track. Like that was like the undertone of what he was saying.
Yeah. I mean, you've watched the episode that he did with Gavin Newsom, right? So he understands and sees the importance of like the organizing, especially for school-related stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're off to like a good start there. Yeah, but I don't know. They're gonna just like keep attacking the shit out of us, I'm sure. Like they seem to be super mad with Dottie, the far left and the far right, because I saw all the shit that was going on with Anna and Hassan around this. So
yeah, those people are both unhinged, bro. I cannot believe Anna. I can't believe that Anna and Cenk. Yeah, I don't know. I used to assume that like people were like financially driven. This is one of the things I hate so much. I don't know where you stand on this, but like I think people assume that like moneyed interests and everything drive so much more than they actually do. I feel like a lot of it is ideological or personal. Like I think Anna's entire political trajectory can be mapped back to her being bullied over the homeless assault thing, and then the breeding persons. There was a thing that trans people used to advocate, not saying that abortion was like a women's rights issue, but it was like a breeding persons issues. What's the word I'm looking for? Birthing person. Yeah, you're supposed to call them birthing persons. Yeah. And then Anna got assaulted by apparently a homeless guy once, and everybody's like, oh no, like that can't happen. Homeless people are unhoused neighbors. And I mean, I defended Anna in both those instances. I think calling abortion not a woman's issue is crazy. And then the defense of like every homeless person, even if they're assaulting people, I think is crazy. But yeah, her mind got so brain broken at that point that she just started like an unyielding bend towards the right. And now she's completely Fox News mimbified. Yeah.
So what, like, I don't understand, like, where is her position right now? Because I remember her being, like, to the left of Cenk 10 years ago.
Well, now everybody's on this, like, anti-establishment bend harder than they were before. So I don't know where you're at in terms of political philosophy, but like you have broadly speaking, you have like liberalism, which would encompass or used to encompass like the Democrats and the Republicans. So there are people that like broadly believe in like the First Amendment and property rights and capitalism and free enterprise and all these things. And then to the left, like illiberal people, you have like socialists who would believe like in the abolition of private property and in much more stricter controls on a lot of stuff like that. The abolition of like a free enterprise capitalist system. And then on the far right, you've got like your kind of authoritarian people who don't care about your First Amendment rights or anything. These are your new anti-establishment types. And so Anna and Cenk have like fallen off to the left, like off of like the liberal axis, and now they're full on anti-establishment, I guess quasi-socialist type people, but they're going to find themselves in a lot of agreement with the weird far-right fasci types, or like the people on like Breaking Points or whatever, like Sager and Crystal Ball and everything, and these types of people, yeah.
It's so weird to me because like Cenk is like a multimillionaire, and isn't Anna as well? She's like married to like a very like famous baseball player, isn't she? And they do very well. I mean,
all of them will do very well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't understand this whole like shift to this like anti-establishment. I mean, I guess it like obviously like the donors do matter, but I just don't understand this whole like everything is the donor class. Like everything, like when Cenk said that Republicans and Democrats are the same when we were doing our debate, like that shit is insane to me.
Yeah, I think that what the biggest issue with a lot of the donor class stuff is it's for some reason it's inconceivable that you might give money to somebody that you already agree with. I think people put the cart before the horse way too much on a lot of that stuff. Like I think for most people, when they give money to people, it's because they agree with what they're doing. But Cenk has this like completely reversed to where he thinks that donors just like go out of the political environment and just buy off everybody and force them to vote in ways that they want. And because they control everybody the exact same, the Democrats and the Republicans are completely the same. But it's also like unfalsifiable because when you can point to differences between the Democrats and the Republicans, they always have like very convenient outs for it. Like Cenk says like, oh, that's just the pressure release valve. That's the only reason they give us anything is the pressure release valve. It's like, okay, well, so when they're different, it doesn't count. And when they're the same, even though they're not really, it's like that actually does count. Yeah, it's like an unfalsifiable weirdo theory on everything. And then also, and I'm sure you're starting to know this maybe just with your a little bit of associated with me and if you've worked with other influencers, the amount of money that exists in politics is way, 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 way less than people think it is. When you get over to the influencer world, like in the YouTube world where I'm at and everything, where we get paid insanely ridiculous amounts of money. When you go to the political world, like I'm pretty sure if you're willing to donate $5,000, you can get like a sit-down dinner with almost any senator in the United States of America, but for $5,000. Like the amount of money is just very, very low in that world compared to other worlds. And people think that there's this massive bias going on. I just don't think that's the case, you know?
No, there's not. And like that stuff all happens through the PACs anyway that aren't coordinating, or at least they're not supposed to be coordinating with the candidates. So it's not, I mean, like, you know, I come from the electoral world where, first of all, most Democratic candidates don't raise a lot of money, period, right? Like, so there isn't people, like, it's funny because I'll talk to candidates sometimes that are like ultra progressives in like New York City, and they're like, I'm not going to take corporate money. And I'm like, dude, nobody's going to offer it to you. So it doesn't matter. Like, you know, this whole like narrative of the donor class thing is just, I mean, I'm sure that there, you know, when you get up to like Biden's level, there's going to be like some of that. But as you said, it's not going to be at the level that people think it is. It's, you know, there's a max out donation anyway. So I don't,
to PACs and to candidates, not to the super PACs, of course, but
Yeah, not through the super PACs. But then the super PACs, that's a whole different like ball game because the staffers there are different, the needs there are different, the asks there are different. So I don't see like how, I feel like people just don't understand like how this stuff works, and that's why they think that there's this like huge conspiracy.
What do you want to talk about today? You came here we were chatting about an event.
I just wanted to, because we're going to do the AMA today, so I don't know if your Reddit is very nice to me, so thank you to the folks on your Reddit. Whenever I feel like crap, I go to your Reddit and I'm like, damn, this is cool. So thanks to those people. But I'm going to do an AMA on the tour. So we're gearing up for AmFest, which is proving to be kind of like a lot more difficult than the Student Action Summit because, Phoenix is weirdly like not as friendly to our side. The establishments there, like us trying to book stuff and all that. But we're getting that together, so that's going to be fun. That's December 20th.
Expand on that. When you say the establishment is not, you mean like the Democrats, or do you mean like booking stuff at the Charlie Kirk event thing? Or
like the establishments, like the like bars and stuff, like in the area.
Establishments. Okay. Are they like worried about like political violence, or what is like the vibe, I guess?
I think that they just think that they can like make more money from Charlie's people going there. So I think that they're like being, I don't know, because it is a massive event, right? Like AmFest is, like 50 times bigger than the Student Action Summit. Like Trump is probably going to be there. They'll have all of the, every like media person you can think of. They're going to do Media Row again. Would love to try to book a debate in there if we can sneak you in a second time.
It's going to be, you think it's a lot bigger than the event that even we went to?
Oh yeah. It's like, this is like the Super Bowl for the right. Like this is like everybody who's anybody. Like the Student Action Summit is like, it's like mid-size. Like that's like, but not everybody goes to that. Like the big media people usually aren't at that one. Certainly not Trump and his team and those people. They're usually not there. The elected officials usually aren't there. But with AmFest, that's like everybody.
Gotcha. It's kind of crazy that they have like conventions for just conservative politics.
Yeah, these are just like their circle jerk conventions. Like this is like and it's funny because we should talk about this. This is actually like funny. I don't know if you've heard about I'm not even gonna say the name of the conference because I don't want to like call them out because sometimes they do good work. But like we have like a very big progressive conference that happens every year. And it just happened this year, like the one from it was this past weekend, they just had it. And it's funny, like comparing like the Student Action Summit and that to like the progressive version of our event, because so 2 years ago was the last time I went to this event. And it's a 3-day event typically. So and they have like, it's the same sort of deal. Like they have elected officials, they don't really have media people, because again, like we have this weird thing in the Democratic Party where we like can't connect the media to our electoral politics. But they have like a lot of electeds, and they have like all the consultants and stuff like that. And the second day of the event, it happened in Chicago. There was like, I can't remember who was there. I think it was like Pramila Jayapal. I think maybe Rashida was there. There was a woman named Jan Shawaski, I think her last name is. She's like a Jewish congresswoman in Chicago.
Okay.
And they were doing like a panel in the morning, like on stage, and just like talking about messaging and like where we should go with the party and all that stuff. Anyway, midway through it, these pro-Palestinian folks like disrupted it basically, right? Like they were like throwing stuff, like it was just like a whole scene that was happening.
Okay.
And the organizers of the event, and this is like a big event, like they have like big donors, like all of this, they stop the event, they take everybody off stage, and we're like, okay, it was probably a safety issue or whatever. But it really wasn't, because the protesters were like, for the most part, like being like relatively peaceful. And they send everybody an email like 5 minutes later, and they're like, hey, we need to stand in solidarity with the movement, so we're going to be canceling the whole event.
Okay.
And so like Fox News started talking about this, like it was going viral on Twitter, and I'm just like,
this is the thing. I've talked about this on stream before, but somehow the solidarity concept got like warped from, like, solidarity is supposed to be a whole bunch of different groups can come together and show solidarity around a single issue, but somehow solidarity turned into a whole bunch of different groups need to come together and agree on every single issue. And the Palestine becoming the Palestine thing becoming the calling card for the huge thing on the left. I don't even necessarily mind it if it was just a little bit more pragmatic in that, like, you know, we support Palestine and we want to support better rights for Palestinians, so we're going to support like a candidate that's going to do better. But when it becomes just like a massive disincentivizer for all, you know, electoral engagement, it's like, okay, well, I guess fuck this. Yeah.
Electorally, I'm just like, yeah, I mean, we could have had that conversation, right? And like, whatever. But I'm like, to cancel you canceled everything, like, and just like, I don't know, that it just like comparing that to like AmFest is just like mind blowing.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready for AmFest. That's going to be awesome. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to sell out the bar. We'll have tickets available probably like mid next week. And and then we're like raising money for the college tour, which I mean, as far as I know, Charlie's still going to go on. He hasn't dropped his dates yet, but he always goes on his fall campus tour.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have like dono links or whatever for that, or is that set up through like ActBlue, or is that set up through your own?
Yeah, everything's through ActBlue, so you could just like go to the website fuckamericatour.com. You can donate there. If you want to donate to a specific creator, like if you want to donate to Destiny, you just like click on their link, and then we give them back 15% of it. So, yeah.
Okay. When is the? You said in a week and a half you'll be selling tickets for the AmFest thing. When is the AmFest event?
December 20th. Put on your calendar right now.
Okay, gotcha. We'll do that.
Don't forget. It's like, it's going to be a crazy week because, you know, it's like Christmas and everything. I don't know why they do it at that time, but but it is going to be a big event. It's going to be in Phoenix. So if anybody's like in the Phoenix area or like Vegas, surrounding areas, it'll be a good time. We're going to have like a lot of debates going on. We're going to try to make it even bigger than the Tampa event, because the Tampa event, we were really like very much experimenting with how it would work. So we want to get like a bigger venue this time. We want to make sure the sound is good, because I know a lot of people were like messaging us about the sound issues that we had.
Oh, like for the streaming videos and stuff?
Yeah, because it was tough, because like we didn't really know, like, I mean, the bar said that they had a sound system, right? So we were like, okay.
I'll make sure 100% next time that we're planned out for that. Don't worry, we'll scope it out ahead of time and make sure we're set up to stream that, yeah.
Yeah, we got to make sure we actually like go in there and like check on the equipment and stuff because we were like trying to get mics at like the last minute. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. It'll be a really good time. And remember that like when you buy a ticket and you're supporting us doing that, and when you buy food at the event, you are contributing to our general fund that will go to getting Democrats registered to vote. It's going to be going towards all of our college campus tours. We also want to start doing like different like Jubilee style debates, like when we're not on campus tours. So it'll also be going towards stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, anything else?
No, I mean, unless you got anything. I appreciate you having me up as always.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Any questions from chat? You said you're doing an AMA in the subreddit today.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm catching up on all the news from the weekend, so.
Yeah, I know you probably got a lot to catch up on. When you were gone, I was like, damn, he's going to be coming back to like a hot mess. So have fun with that. And yeah,
I mean, that's kind of, I feel like that's like every day. I feel like, I don't know if you've had this thing. We talked about it at the event or whatever. I just had another debate last night. It feels like everything in the administration is like so comically stupid now. It's like impossible for anybody to even try to defend any of it. Like it's just so, like this whole DC, I don't know how into DC politics you are, but I have a couple of friends that used to work with like the city council and everything. And like, oh my God, the trying to federalize all the DC stuff now and usurping the city council and everything. I don't even know. Jesus. Yeah.
That's a shit show. That is like, I'm going to DC tomorrow, and I'm like, kind of like, fuck, this is going to be
kind of weird. It's interesting though, because I thought Trump didn't have the ability to do anything with DC. That's what I remember hearing on the Gen 6 stuff so much, that he had no authority, that he couldn't send the National Guard in or anything. But it seems like, I guess he always did have that authority. Kind of weird how that works out.
It's crazy how that works out, right?
Yeah. Friend of the stream, Ghislaine Maxwell, out on work release, apparently. I saw an article this morning on that. I don't know if that's actually 100% true or not. It was like from rawstory.com. Do you know if that's true? Is she actually out on work release now? Is that happening?
I don't know, but if she is, like, we're going to milk the shit out of that. We have to. Like, that's the other thing. Like, I don't know if your viewers like know much about this, and we can talk about this in the AMA, but a big part of what we're trying to do is like build out this media infrastructure that like you talk about a lot. Because that's a big problem that we're having right now on the left is like we don't have any media structure at all to be able to like get our message out when we need to get it out. So like stuff like the Epstein stuff, we could be hitting that so much harder if we actually had the media infrastructure to do it.
Yeah. It'll happen like organically when it's like a super big topic. So like the Epstein stuff, kind of, but like the way that conservatives can just force a narrative on literally everything. Like I don't know how much you read or follow on the Russia stuff. Like I read so much in the past on this. Like that recent Russia thing about Obama, that all is just completely and totally fake. Like if you just read the original 23-page release, like the paragraph that they're quoting in the same release, if you read further down, like all of it is discredited. Like the intelligence community said there's no, like this is probably not true. These are literally Russia hoax emails that Fox News is passing off as legitimate. But somehow they've been able to message on that. They're trying so hard to force it. They've been forcing it for like weeks trying to get it to catch on anywhere else. But they're able to do that because they're just so good at keeping all of their people in line.
It's like within seconds. It's just, and I didn't really like believe that until this whole trans thing happened, and like within like seconds, like my feed was just like filled with it, like all the way down to like micro influencers. You know, it's
yeah,
scary.
they all have it. Yeah. Oh, the Sydney Sweeney stuff is a good example too of them being able to pick somebody on the left. I don't know anybody. Like I point this out to people when I argue with people where they're like, oh, like what about this guy who was mad about, this thing on the left? And it's like, why do you even know about this? It's just because somebody on the right decided to spotlight them. And then you get into this like purity testing spiral where people are like, we got to act better on our side. And it's like, I agree to some extent, but like you're never going to be able to pass the threshold where Donald Trump has an excuse for every single thing he says, but then every single person ostensibly on the left, from media to social media to everything else, has to be perfect, or else like they're going to get spotlit by some conservative lunatic and made as like the representative for our whole side. I haven't met any left-leaning person that gives a fuck about the Sydney Sweeney stuff or whatever, the Sweeney Sydney, whatever the fuck her name is. Yeah.
I haven't like that. Yeah, that's like also the weird thing because they picked like these like 3 TikTokers on the fringe left that were like, oh, this is Nazi propaganda. And now apparently that's like the message of the Democratic Party. I mean, even with our stuff, right? Like the segment on Fox News was the Democratic Party is in disarray, when clearly in that interview we said that this is not attached to the Democratic Party at all. So they just fucking take anything and they just run with it. It's like anything we say is the whole Democratic Party now, I guess.
Yeah. As long as they can weaponize it, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was good to be up here, my friend. And I'll be doing the AMA for like an hour or two. So if anybody has questions about the tour, I don't know if anybody's still interested in the drama, but we could talk about that on the AMA or whatever.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll see you around. Be careful.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Bye. I don't know how true that is yet. Like, I saw there was some raw story thing. Someone in chat just said she was like authorized for work release, but she hasn't had work release yet. Here's her level and custody summary. Custody out. What stands out here is the custody level out, which allows her to leave the minimum security campus for work assignments, much like Jeffrey Epstein was allowed to leave prison as part of his deal he got for Alex Acosta. It was a Substack poster. I reviewed an electronic file that includes some of the information Senator Whitehouse is demanding from the Bureau of Prisons. Huh. Okay. Maybe it's not relevant then? Like maybe they're always coded as out, but maybe there's something else that keeps them from leaving? I don't know. I'm trying to be charitable, but... Did you see Jesse Waters calling Z trans? Yeah, I don't, yeah, we just watched it. It was kind of weird. I don't get that, but whatever. Were you surprised when that retard you debated last night was okay with Ghislaine being transferred to a minimum security prison? Yeah, I don't know. I tried to lean harder last night into the, like, making them acknowledge, like, you acknowledge it, like, you were completely wrong on this, or you acknowledge that, like, this was, like, really bad, or you acknowledge that. I tried to lean harder into that. I think I did an okay job. I think I did about as good as I could without getting, like, really aggressive. It is really weird, though, when people start citing stuff and they don't have any of the underlying understanding of how any of it works, it feels weird. And then if I don't have time to explain it, it starts to feel like I'm sounding like a cope or whatever. Like when we start talking about inflation, like it is such a ridiculous statement to say that inflation was caused solo by President Biden. And it's like, well, there was COVID and then plus the war in Ukraine started. And it's like the rest of the world also had a ton of inflation. How did Biden solo cause that? But to explain it, I don't know. It just feels fucking ridiculous sometimes. It was funny though. Whenever he did like the ChatGPT checks, he was getting kind of smashed on that.
Heroic actions of a member of this administration just a few blocks from this building, will the president consider giving the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Big Balls?
I haven't spoken to him about that, but perhaps it's something he would consider. I'll ask him and get back to you, Benny. Thanks for being here.
Given the...
Wow, Benny Johnson, so brave. It was crazy to me that he was purity testing the Reuters CEO for plagiarism and for getting like 70 out of 1,000 stories or whatever wrong. The first time I've seen a Republican care about facts. Yeah, it was funny. I'm trying to point that out more, and I think that I will do that more. It feels really uncomfortable because I know that it's really mean, but I did lean into that. Like, you know, I'm a better researcher than you. You know, I have more media literacy than you. Because it's like, walk me through your media literacy process. And I always know the answer. I know what they're going to say every single time. I read media from a variety of sources in order to fact check to make sure that my biases, like, it's always going to be some bullshit. Like, it's like, okay, talk to me more about that process, right? Because he was very keen to cite Oh, I asked him, like, he's like, well, BuzzFeed News says that this thing is wrong. And I was like, you trust BuzzFeed News now? Really? And he's like, are you sure about that? Like, yeah, because these guys don't have any critical thought process when it comes to fact checking media or evaluating media. And then it's always like some vague bullshit of like, like I used critical thinking and common sense. Like, okay, dude. Jesus. What are your thoughts on the weird narcissism shit he said at the beginning? It was bait. I just didn't take the bait on it. It's dumb. He's probably seen like debate compilations of me, and he's probably heard people say that I'm like a debate bro person, but I don't really do any debate bro tactics at all. Like, I don't usually demand sources on the spot. I'm usually really patient. I try to like put together a person's argument if I can. I'm trying not to like crucify people based on statements they've said prior to the debate, unless I feel like they're really relevant or something. But other people seem to be keen on debate bro-y stuff. I don't know.
So this is going to start out.
Hey, I think I have a unique approach to Jan 6 and Hunter Biden that might land more than MAGA's facts. Can I DM you to peek on stream? So post it on my subreddit, my dude. I love you.
So this is going to start out kind of philosophical with the fact that words have meanings, all of them, and those meanings mean something in our heads, and this is fine. That is where meaning begins, but it is not where meaning always ends. Now, the crazy thing is that as we pass words around, they mostly mean the same thing in your head as they do in my head. If that's not the case, then conversation becomes weird and hard. And I see this happen all the time, especially on the internet, where different groups of people have different definitions. It doesn't matter. The way that we actually imagine and use words, what the definition of a word is the thing that it means when you think of it. And that's a fine kind of definition. When it comes to that kind of definition, there is obviously a thing that fish are. This is a fish, and this is a fish. This is definitely a fish. Why is a bass...
Are sharks really fish? What does fish mean? Did you check the subreddit about the debate from last night? No. I guess I've never thought about it before. Like, spiders aren't insects, right?
I mean, like the most fish-like fish. I don't know. But is this a fish? I mean, yeah, it's not really fish-shaped. What about this? That's a
Isn't that a horse? Seahorse? I'm just kidding.
Horse, but is also a fish. So as always, things are a bit of a mess. On my We Never Left the Water shirt here, there's like weird fish here. There's an oarfish, that's like a long fish. There's a whale shark, what's that even? Mola mola? What? But interestingly, this used to be a fish, and this also used to be a fish, this as well. This is a silverfish, and interestingly, it was never a fish. It just reminded people of fish. We've had words related to fish for a very long time, and mostly what they meant was the thing that you think of as a fish. Not anymore though, and how we ended up there is very interesting. Now, the thing that means fish is kind of not what you think of as a fish. Or it is. It still is, but there also it isn't. There's a fight going on, and I'm in it. I'm in the fight, and I want to be in the fight. I like it here. But how we ended up in that situation is very interesting, and also it leads me to believe that maybe sharks aren't fish. Or
I find that the issue, when people are arguing for different things, and maybe he'll explain it, but I want to explain it first, so I'm going to start from him. The reason why we end up disagreeing on definitions, in my opinion, isn't because we're actually having a genuine disagreement on definitions. Usually it's because somebody wants to bring in something else from a word that that would help an argument that you're having. Let me give an example, okay? So let's say that we have the word criminal, okay? When we think of criminal, okay, so there's a lot of like, so remember, I think when we say word, there's a lot of concepts that light up in our mind, right? Maybe like felony, misdemeanor, somebody who like breaks the rules. You're thinking of like maybe a certain personality type, certain like big five, like just like the, what is this kind of person? There's also this other thing here. And I mean, you could break out a ton of categories here, okay? A lot of words have these like normative values attached to them of like goodness and badness. And oftentimes when people want to use a certain word, they don't actually care as much about these things so much as they really want these things. So if somebody wants to say something like, that Martin Luther King was a criminal, right? Very rarely are they trying to, like, is it strictly true? Like, I think it was, he was arrested a few times for things or whatever, right? Maybe even past civil disobedience, I don't remember, but but these things, when we say criminal, like, it doesn't really evoke when we centrally think about like the criminal archetype. It doesn't seem like Martin Luther King really fits that as much, although he kind of does, I guess, because he technically broke crimes, but like, that's not really what we're talking about. But what we really want is we really want to bring in this normative bad value. That's the most important thing. And when you fight against, this is the frustrating thing, when you fight against how people define words, you might be fighting on the definition part, but they're not fighting on the definition part. They are exclusively in this normativity world, and they want that normativity. A really good example of this right now is genocide. Right? There might be ways legally that you define genocide and case law and all that, but nobody cares. They want from genocide the bad thing. That's why notice how every single time I'm debating on whether or not it's a genocide, people immediately go, when I say, I don't think it's a genocide, people don't go, oh, how would you classify it? Or you do think the work, they immediately go to, oh, so you think it's okay? You think it's okay that children are dying? A really great example of this. I think this is like the perfect encapsulation of this.
So you come over and sit in what is now my living room, that used to be your living room, because direct.
Can I find this? Fuck. What did I say? Do you think I'm okay with Jim Crow? Do you think I agree with? Okay, so.
Very disconcerting stuff, I have to say. You were explaining 2 days ago in discussion about apartheid and how absurd it was, that in your view, Jim Crow was not apartheid. Jim Crow was not apartheid. But Arab states not giving citizenship to Palestinian refugees is apartheid. That's what I meant.
So when he's saying this, right, it is apartheid or it's not apartheid, right? He's not thinking anywhere near. He's not defining it in any way. He's just bringing in the normativity. And when you think about it from the normativity perspective, right, you think that Israel's not doing apartheid, a bad thing. So you're saying they're good, but you're saying the Arab states are doing apartheid, which is a bad thing, and they are doing a bad thing, right? That's amazing to me.
Sure, my earlier comments about white supremacy.
So my issue, that's great, the white supremacy comment. Well, hold on, let me respond, okay? My issue is that I feel like we have jumped on this euphemistic treadmill, and I think that's part of the reason why this conflict will never get solved. Is because on one end, you've got a people who are now convinced internationally that they're victims of apartheid, genocide, concentration camp conditions, ethnic cleansing, they're forced to live in an open-air prison, with all of these things that are stacked against them, all of these terms that are highly specific, that refer to very precise things.
So I'm talking definitionally, they refer to precise things, but they're also very normatively loaded, right? They're really, really bad. These are all really, really, really bad things.
And then when people like you
expect nothing less from someone who doesn't think Jim Crow is apartheid.
I don't know.
So I would expect nothing less from someone who doesn't think Jim Crow is apartheid. What are we saying here? Because I disagree definitionally on that. I disagree definitionally on the other things, or I'm just supporting a bad thing, right? But I think I cut through this.
Because the problem is you're morally loading. For you, apartheid is when racists do bad things.
No.
Right? So I bring up the normativity thing here. I think you just think apartheid is like a bad thing. And if I say that Jim Crow wasn't apartheid...
Right.
No, there's a definition of apartheid.
That's great. But the specific top-down racial domination enacted through top-down, like federal legislative policies or whatever, means that I don't know if Jim Crow would have qualified for apartheid. That doesn't make it any less. Excuse me, Finkelstein, I'm talking right now. Excuse me.
I start using his hand thing here, and he respects it.
Hey, Finkelstein, I'm talking to your friend over here. I don't know if it would qualify as the crime of apartheid. Just like if Israel were to literally nuke the Gaza Strip and kill 2 million people, I don't know if that would qualify for the crime of genocide.
In your eyes, probably not.
I don't. Well, yeah, but because genocide requires a special intent. I think the issue is instead of. I think this conversation actually is emblematic of the entire conversation. I don't think anything.
Let me finish answering.
Well, sure, but you accused me of supporting racism. So yeah,
well, you did. And you are.
I did. Do you think I support Jim?
He said you did and you are. You're supporting. Listen to that. You're supporting racism. Because I disagree definitionally, he thinks that I reject the normative characterization of what's going on. It's not possible that I might agree with a different definition that also is normatively bad, because he's only thinking of the normativity here. He's only thinking of the good and bad part.
Let me finish answering.
Well, sure, but you accused me of supporting racism. So yeah,
well, you did, and you are.
You did and you are. Okay.
I think I support Jim Crow laws.
And so, and I feel like that was a central. I should have even been more vague. Do you think I support racism? But
you accused me of supporting racism. So yeah,
well, you did, and you are.
I did it. Do you think I support Jim Crow laws?
Look,
the fact that you can't even answer that.
That's an amazing. You really think that? You honestly but I feel like that kind of cuts to the center of this, right? Do you think I support Jim Crow because I don't think Jim Crow is apartheid? But all they're thinking in their mind is this normativity argument. This is a problem. It's not good. And it muddies the fuck out of conversations, and it makes everything fucking impossible to talk about. It's so fucking annoying. But okay.
Whales are. What people think of as a fish has changed over time as our language has gotten more specific.
Would you be able to explain this to viewers live on a debate? Fuck no. I mean, I did as well as I could in that conversation, but it's very hard to do that at the same time while having a debate at the same time. And I have an exhibit B for you. What?
Don't fucking advocate for workers owning the means of production. So by the definition that you just provided for us, they are not socialists.
So
silly.
I said at its broadest, it's workers owning the means of production, but that means of production. I think
what does broadest mean?
Broadest means it includes the most amount of people. So if your broadest definition does not include those people.
Connor, shut the fuck up. What I'm trying to chart out.
Make your words make sense.
I'm trying to chart out a semantic difference. Do you understand what I mean when I say a semantic?
Okay, right.
Sharks aren't fish, or whales are. What people think of as a fish has changed over time as our language has gotten more specific. Used to be anything moving around in the water was a fish. Starfish, jellyfish, cuttlefish, whales, seals, and penguins were not considered fish because they spent a lot of time on land. And people messed around with this. Like Aristotle was like, a bunch of these things are pretty different. As early as that era, we started separating out things that didn't have internal structures. So sharks and bass and whales, fish. But squid and octopuses and snails and jellyfish and starfish, different things that got different words. He had a whole system for dividing things up. Did they have blood? Did they have bones? Etc. But
what's the point of debating the definition when you understand what they're insulting? You mean what they're insinuating? Well, because the issue is that if you give on the definition, the normativity oftentimes will follow logically from the concepts that are surrounding the word that you're using. So if you give that it's a genocide or you give that it's an apartheid, there's a whole bunch of things that logically stem from that you also kind of have to give on. And so if you accept a bad definition of a word because you want the associated normativity, then later on when you're trying to think of prescription, so how do we deal with this problem? They're not going to lean back on the normativity. They're going to go back to the definition of the word, right? Thus, like a genocide is happening right now. Genocide is really bad. You do agree what's happening to the Palestinians is bad. But yeah, it's pretty bad, right? It's bad. Okay, yeah, it's bad. Well, what do we do? Well, what do we do with genocidal states? We invade them, we depose the leadership. It's like, okay, wait, hold on. Okay, well, now I'm not sure if I want to own that genocide, right? That's why you have to be careful about owning definitions just for the normative associations, because people, when they want to come to prescriptions, won't just go to the normative associations. They'll go back to the definition of the word itself,
That was very different from what people thought of as fish. And people kept thinking of squids as fish, even though Aristotle was like, no, they're a different thing. When I was in school, people were still a little unclear on whether whales were fish. That was the 90s. In the Middle Ages, for weird logistical reasons, fish started to be redefined for a lot of people because you could eat fish during meat fasts, like during Lent. And some people didn't have access to not just fish, but any food that wasn't meat. And so they started looking at different animals and being like, maybe that's a fish. I don't know. Ended up beavers definitely considered fish and could be eaten during Lent. The same thing goes for barnacle geese, which people of the time thought grew on driftwood, popped out of barnacles. You could see how maybe that would be a fish. Also, puffins lived a lot of their lives in water, so they were considered fish. Now, the jury is out on whether people actually thought these things were fish, but it really does feel like they did. They looked at beavers and they were like, their tails are scaly, they live in the water, I don't know, kind of fishy. Now, if you look at the definition of fish in the dictionary and the words there were just like, that thing you think of as a fish, that would be a bad definition. That would not be satisfying. It's almost weird that there has to be a definition of fish. I don't know the history of dictionaries, but there must have been a time when they were like, I guess we got to include all the words, even fish, which everyone knows what a fish is. I don't have to define fish to people. Children around fish know fish. But I guess we got to do it. But before dictionaries, the thing you think of when I say fish is mostly what we were going with. That was most of human history. And what definitions today mostly do with fish is that they try to describe what you think of when you think of a fish. Cambridge Dictionary: an animal that lives in water is covered with scales and breathes by taking water through its mouth, or the flesh of these animals eaten as food. I mean, no, catfish don't have scales, mud skippers are evolved to not live entirely in the water, but whatever. Google: a limbless, cold-blooded vertebrate animal with gills and fins and living wholly in water. Again, mud skippers, but also tuna, maybe not cold-blooded, it turns out. Also, lots of fish don't have fins. So this is a bad one. Merriam-Webster is improving any of numerous cold-blooded, strictly aquatic craniate vertebrates that include the bony fishes and usually the cartilaginous and jawless fishes. So those are actually that's a little bit of foreshadowing for you. And that have typically. Also, you should have put typically on cold-blooded, Merriam. Wikipedia: a fish is an aquatic, amniotic, gill-bearing vertebrate animal with swimming fins and a hard skull but lacking limbs with digits. This is the best one, but it still isn't quite there. There are some fish that don't have fins. What all of these things are is an attempt to create a line that you can draw around all fish that excludes all things that aren't fish. Some of them do better jobs than others, but wildly, this is a very difficult thing to do. There are a lot of fish. The world is large. There's a great diversity of...
I'm sure he'll get to this, or this will be part of the end too. Another thing, and this is why I get so frustrated with people why does a woman is science? Or these things are science. It's not. Categories are completely arbitrary. Not arbitrary. They're things that we construct because there's some utility in constructing them, okay? When we create categories of things, usually we do it for a purpose, right? There's some utility to be gained there. When I say I want to go out and get food, we can have a huge conversation on what counts as does candy count as food, right? Sometimes parents will say oh, I ate. And it's what did you eat? And it's I had Kit Kat bars. That's not food. That doesn't count. That's not eating, right? That was just sweets, right? We say things, we create categories because they have some utility to us, because when we use language, we're trying to communicate something to somebody else, ideally to invoke a feeling or to encourage some action. And so the words and the categories that we create have meanings insofar as they encourage other people to think certain things or do certain things.
Life. But you can see how these definitions are just an extension of what do I think of as a fish. Create a list of attributes that draws a line perfectly, including all things that I think are fish and no things that I don't think are fish. And this is fine. Definitions are for humans to use, and absolutely, even though a manta ray isn't really very fish-shaped, and hagfish don't have fins, and catfish don't have scales, I feel like they should all be included. But you get the idea. A fish is like a thing that you think of when you think of a fish. And that is often what definitions do. But there is another thing definitions can do. If I ask you to define a car, you will have to give me a list of attributes. I just don't actually see another way. You got tires, an engine, carrying a smallish number of people, doesn't have a flatbed, and that's imperfect, but we're kind of stuck with that. This is not the case with life. In the late 1800s, after people realized that animals evolved from one another, it started to be pretty clear that there was actually a reason why fish tended to have all of these common properties. Upright tail fins, amniotic, two-chambered hearts, pumping blood, gills, and hard skulls. And instead of a list, we could have a definition that told us something new because it brought the definition outside of our minds, outside of the vibes, outside of what we think of as a fish, and into the real world. Not in here, out there. This conversation, which has now been going on for decades, is like a thing that's happening, and you're in the middle of it. When we moved from defining fish as the thing that feels like a fish to me, to instead a list of things that include all of the things I think of as a fish and none of the things that I don't, that wasn't actually that much of a leap. That definition was still inside of us. A much better definition, but one that no one currently uses and is part of this fun discourse. No one's actually mad here. But a much better definition is when it actually describes something that exists in the real world. And the lineage of fish, starting with the first common ancestor, a vertebrate with fins and scales and blood and a two-chambered heart and a hard head, is a real thing that existed in the real world, and that is the common ancestor of all fish. But interestingly, no current definitions of fish discuss lineage, because they cannot, and I will now explain that. There was one common ancestor that gave rise to all of the fish, sharks and manta rays and bass and marlin, but that common ancestor also gave rise to beavers and birds and the prop comedian Carrot Top. And this would actually be fine. Birds have a single common ancestor. They are a group that just includes birds. Dinosaurs have a single common ancestor. They are a group that just includes dinosaurs. And tetrapods, the land vertebrates, all have a single common ancestor. They are a group that just includes tetrapods. The fish group includes three different groups: the bony fish like bass and marlin, the cartilaginous fish like sharks and rays, and the jawless fish like hagfish and lampreys. The cartilaginous fish and bony fish split off from each other 420 million years ago, while tetrapods and bony fish split from each other 380 million years ago. 40 million years is a long time in evolution, and we are way more closely related to bass than bass are to sharks. So here's the problem. We are comfortable with the line that we drew around fish. Unfortunately, that line is drawn in such a way that it cannot line up with the definition of fish that is created when we remove ourselves from the equation and seek a definition that is about more than just vibes. And so, if we want a definition of fish that is about reality rather than vibes, and I understand that we may not want that, sometimes you just want to say fish are the things that are like fish, but in that case you do have to accept that whales only got brought out of that definition through careful science, but that's fine. But if we want a definition of fish that is about reality rather than vibes, that pulls the definition outside of us and into the actual biological reality of life on Earth, you can absolutely do that. We could create a group that includes all of the fish, including the tetrapods. The problem is, we already have a name for that group. It's the craniates. Any animal that has a skull is a fish or descended from a fish. There are no fish that are not descended from the first craniate ancestor all those hundreds of millions of years ago. But I actually don't like that as a classification because it's just too broad, and we already have that. We've got craniates. But also hagfish that are craniates but not vertebrates are so different from all the other fish that I will happily call them not fish. Like the hagfish, maybe they're like cuttlefish and jellyfish, just something named fish, but not actually a fish. No one is making them be fish. They don't have to be fish. However, this doesn't actually solve our problems. If we cut the hagfish off and say, okay, fish is everything descended from the ancestor of all the other fish, we also have a name for that. That is a group that already exists as well. That's the vertebrates. And so, if we want fish to actually be a thing, we have to go one step further. Perhaps the cartilaginous fish aren't fish either. Perhaps sharks and rays are just sharks and rays. And if we carve them off too, we would actually be left with a group that are fish and are not represented by anything else. This is the bony fish, the group that includes all of the fish descended from the first bony fish, which has pretty much everything you think of as a fish in it except for the sharks and rays and hagfish and lampreys, but also does include the tetrapods. So this doesn't solve the second problem, which is that tetrapods would still be in the group. But here's the thing. I don't think this is a problem because I think I'm a fish. In order to make fish a useful category that we don't already have a very large encompassing name for, we have to narrow it down. But it's literally impossible to narrow it down so far that doesn't include humans without arbitrarily drawing a line at the shore. And this division, in which only bony fish are true fish, makes sense to me because it highlights how extremely different sharks and rays are from bony fish, which we don't think about. Like, we can't hold it in our brains, but it's really true. And that's to say nothing of the hagfish, which are, I mean, just look at them. Like, that's a fish. The most likely outcome, however, because fish aren't that important to us, like we don't spend that much time around them the way that we do, like we see a reptile and we see a bird, and because we're land animals, we see those things as very different from each other, even though they are much more closely related than a shark is to a bass. But because we are what we are, we just continue to operate on fire. This is what's going to happen. It just means that I get to keep telling you that while the things you think of as fish definitely exist, there is no actual thing in the real world outside of our minds that the word fish describes. There is no such thing as a fish. Thank you to everybody in the comments of my video about fish who encouraged me to make this video about why whales are fish, or maybe they aren't and sharks aren't fish. I don't know. My point is, thank you. I had a good time making this, especially because of the point here that definitions can be two things. They can be our mind's version of what something is, but they can also be like the real outside of our mind version of what something is. And I think that that's fascinating. And also, I really want to have that conversation about life because I hate the current definitions of life that are, it's just a line drawn around something rather than actually trying to name what it is. But regardless, the We Never Left the Water shirt designed by Matthias Ball is still available, but only for the next week. After that, we will take the exact number ordered and print that exact number of them and ship them out so that we don't accidentally make too many or too few. So if you, an organism that brought water out of the water and onto the land and kept it inside of your body with keratinous skin, want this shirt, you can get it, but only for another week. All right, that's the end of the video.
Wow, cute. I don't think we need to watch this whole video on this, but 5-minute segment.
The Bay Harbor little case is now a Miami Metro case, and it is shaping up to be the biggest one in our history.
Why did? Oh no, Jesus.
Clowns and her trolls and her circus acts and her court jesters at all of our events from the Un-F America thing, but she is obsessed with me. However, she has more so than most accurately depicted what we've been able to do here because she does describe us as a builder. Now, this is a former Bernie Sanders type. She's got very crass language. She's got quite a view of herself that is
This whole line of argumentation eventually leads you to nothing means anything and it's all meaningless. No, I think that the point of this is the point, okay? I think this is like the ideal journey when you start to interrogate things. I kind of went through this process with the Warren guy. When you start to interrogate things that you think are more firmly held beliefs than they probably should be, it's almost like the meme actually, right? So like using that video as an example, right? So fish, you might have this concept in your mind of like, well, what is a fish, right? And you like intuitively you feel like, oh, well, intuitively I know what a fish is, but as you dive into the world of what's it called? Is it phylogeny? Where you have like the phylum, kingdom, all that bullshit, whatever the fuck it is. Like eventually it's like, I don't know how to draw the distinction between fucking anything. I don't know like what counts as a fish, what counts as a tetrapod, what counts as whatever the fuck else. Like, do these things mean anything? And you can get lost, I think, when you begin your interrogation into things like, I guess it'd be like metaphysics. You can kind of get lost where you're like, oh shit, maybe nothing is nothing. Maybe actually all of this is arbitrary and pointless and bullshit. But then if you come back to the real world, well, we seem to use these words and it seems like they work, right? Like we have language and we communicate to each other. And then it's like, oh, actually, well, I guess when we say fish, for the most part, all of us kind of a similar thing comes to mind. The only point I think in going on this journey is just so that you understand that you're not taking this thing for granted. That when we give a definition, people think this, like I said, this happens a lot with the like, what is a woman, debate or whatever. People think that when we give a definition for a word, that we are syntactically like robots. Like, oh, well, we know that when we say fish, we have that programmed into our brains, the exact syntactic understanding definitionally, the code of what a fish is. And that's not true. It's very much a semantics. It's very much semantically like, what is our understanding of what a fish is? It's probably a thing with gills. It's probably a thing that lives underwater. It's probably a thing that you can get sushi on. It's probably a thing that has scales. It's probably, like, we generally speaking, we have like, oh, this is like a fish. And the journey here into like interrogating how you feel about that thing or what is actually happening should just give you a little bit more appreciation when you come out the other and you're like, oh, okay, well, fish is what I eat at seafood restaurants or something like that, basically. Of course, it leads down to nothing means anything, but why go down there? We've built something. Why not stand on it? Well, because a lot of it you take for granted, and there are moments in life where you're going to come bumping up against something that somebody else has taken for granted in the opposite way, and then you have to figure out how to reconcile those differences. But if you've never even thought about where words come from, or you've thought about how language works, you're incapable of, I guess, having a conversation or crossing the divide, basically.